Listen close, because according to a 500-year-old manuscript, the absolute biggest lie in the world today is that hard work alone is going to make you rich. Seriously, the author, Niccolo Machiavelli, he argued that the people who possess true, unshakable power, they hide the actual mechanics of exactly how they got there, right? Like they'll stand up on stages, they'll give you these hyped-up motivational speeches, preach about early morning routines and the grind, but the real secrets? His texts claim they are never, ever going to share those. Because if you knew them, you could become exactly what they are. This guy's observations were deemed so dangerous that the church literally banned them. The Pope called it the devil's work, and governments were burning copies. Why? Because this was forbidden knowledge. It was meant only for kings and the absolute elite, definitely not for everyday people. So today, in this explainer, we are unpacking Machiavelli's 9 dangerous secrets to see exactly how this hidden game of power is actually played.
But hey, right off the bat, I gotta give you a warning. If you clicked on this explainer looking for, toxic positive motivational quotes, if you're sitting there thinking that just staying positive and putting in a little hard work is magically gonna fix everything, close this right now. Seriously, this breakdown is just not for you. Machiavelli's worldview is ruthless. It is completely unfiltered, and yeah, it's deeply cynical. We're exploring the real mechanics of a world that is just not what it appears to be. So if you've got the guts to face the historical text that literally nobody wants you to read, buckle up. Phase 1, the Art of Concealment. So why do the most dangerously powerful people in history always choose to hide in plain sight? Well, it basically comes down to the lion versus the fox. Look, today, everybody flexes on Instagram, right? They're buying the new car, the shiny watch, the massive house. They are trying so hard to be this loud, roaring lion because they think people are going to be impressed. But what actually happens in reality? Your jealous relatives are taking screenshots, your friends are calculating exactly how much they can borrow from you, and your competitors, they're marking you as a prime threat. The lion just becomes a massive target. Now look at the fox. Back in Renaissance Italy, Giovanni de' Medici was literally the richest man in the entire country. But if you saw him walking down the street, ordinary clothes, no massive entourage, the guy looked like a common peasant. Yet kings across Europe were begging to borrow money from him. He ruled the whole board from the shadows because the fox stays hidden. And guys, the fox survives.
Now, these camouflage tactics, they overlap into this incredible rapid-fire system of defense. You've got Rule 1, hide your wealth. Rule 2, fake poverty. Rule 7, play dumb. And Rule 9, live below your means. See, according to Machiavelli, looking rich, smart, or incredibly successful is a fatal flaw in the real world. Let's just look at Rules 2 and 7 for a second. Back in Machiavelli's time, there was this textile merchant named Francesco, and he made a massive profit in his very first year. But instead of buying a bigger shop or bragging about it, he just kept wearing his old, beat-up clothes. Whenever people asked how business was doing, he'd just sigh and be like, oh, the market's really slow, we're just surviving. And the result? His competitors completely ignored him. His suppliers actually gave him cheaper rates out of pity, and within 5 years, he was the absolute biggest merchant in the city. So the crucial takeaway here is this. You have to use human psychology. People naturally want to help the weak, but they want to destroy the strong. So when you play dumb or pretend you just got lucky, people let their guard down. Your competitors will literally ignore you while you're quietly building an empire.
Okay, just let this massive number hit you for a second. $58 billion. That was the net worth of IKEA founder Ingvar Kamprad. He was literally one of the richest men on the entire planet. But how did he live? The guy flew economy class. He drove a 15-year-old Volvo. He was using discount coupons for groceries and eating street food. People laughed at him, right? They called him a cheap old man. But he wasn't laughing at all. He was surviving. He was out there employing Rule 9. He was protecting himself from the absolute nightmare of jealousy and all that unwanted attention. He didn't need to prove to anybody that he was rich because, well, he actually was. Phase 2, the hidden knives. So what actually happens when you drop that camouflage and mistakenly trust the people who are clapping for you? Let me hit you with a brutal, real-world case study of Rule 3. A few years ago over in Mumbai, this startup founder built a company that hit 100 core valuation in just a matter of months. And obviously, he was ecstatic. So month 6 rolls around and he throws this massive party. He invites everyone, flashes all his revenue numbers on the screen, lays out his entire future strategy, and just gives away all his trade secrets to his inner circle. Okay, fast forward to month 12. His chief technology officer suddenly resigns, taking all that tech knowledge straight to a competitor. Then his marketing head quits to start a total carbon copy business using that exact same model. And by month 24, total, absolute bankruptcy. A 100-core empire, completely dead in 2 years, and all because he just couldn't keep his mouth shut.
I want to just let this harsh reality hang in the air for a second. Your biggest enemy is the one eating at your dinner table. Look, it's not the rival standing across the battlefield that you have to worry about. It's the person smiling right at you, quietly learning all your weaknesses. Both Sun Tzu and Machiavelli, they understood this perfectly. You must always, always appear weak or just ordinary. Because if people don't know your true strength, they literally cannot coordinate an attack to stop you. Think about it. The person who doesn't know about your success cannot steal it. And that brings us right into Rule 6, your reality versus your image. You see, the world doesn't treat you based on who you actually are. It treats you based on the script that you write for them. Your actual reality is practically irrelevant to the public. Your image is literally everything. If you're incredibly wealthy but you project the image of just a struggling, average person, you're completely safe to build your empire in peace. But if you're average and you project this grand image of wealth, oh man, you are going to be bled dry by expectations, loans, and enemies that you were just not equipped to fight. You either control your image or the world is going to control you. Phase 3, the silent empire. All right, this is where we shift gears from purely defensive tactics to absolute unshakable offense. Rule 4 completely shatters our modern illusion of power. Like, we look at an influencer with 5 million followers and we think, wow, they hold the power. Machiavelli would argue they are merely a product. They're just a tool. True power is the unseen, quiet money that is pulling the strings from the shadows. It's the sponsor behind him. It's the people who are just buying reach to pump their own agendas without ever showing their faces to the public. Let me tell you, true power doesn't have a public Instagram account. True power is building multiple income streams and only letting people see the absolute most boring, ordinary one. Now check out this number, 60. During the massive 2017 Bitcoin boom, there was this young kid who invested his money and watched it multiply 5 times over in just 60 days. Zero hard work, pure luck. And what did he do with that? He instantly violated Rule 5. He bragged about it online. He's posting screenshots, calling himself a crypto genius. He literally shouted his sudden wealth from the digital rooftops for everyone to see. And what was his grand reward for all that bragging? An absolute nightmare. Income tax notices come flooding in out of nowhere. Relatives he hadn't spoken to in years are suddenly calling him, begging for money. He even started receiving physical threats from people who figured out he had all this liquid cash. His stress levels skyrocketed until the guy was getting zero sleep. Ultimately, he panic sold everything and lost it all. Fast money shouts and then it disappears. True wealth is built quietly. Patience is not some kind of weakness. As Machiavelli observed over 20 years of studying Italian politics, patience is a lethal strategic weapon. So I want to deliver Rule 8 as a direct, aggressive challenge to you right now. If you stopped working tomorrow, how many days will your household survive? A week? A month? Maybe 3 months? If your answer is anything less than a year, Machiavelli's texts suggest a pretty harsh reality. You are still a slave. Seriously, I don't care if you have a fancy title, a great business, or even if you're making millions. If your income is entirely dependent on your time, you are just living inside a beautiful, gilded cage. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how you break out of that cage. It's the ultimate clash of ideals, the monument versus system. Historically, Machiavelli noted that the loud, flashy families who built massive, beautiful monuments, grand palaces, huge parties just to display their wealth, they went completely broke in just 3 generations. Why? Because monuments eat your money. A Ferrari is a monument. It just drains your pocket every single year. A Rolex is a monument. But the families who built systems, the ones controlling the trade routes, building infrastructure that just kept working without them being there, they ruled for centuries. Because systems feed you. A dividend portfolio is a system. It puts money in your account while you sleep. You have to stop building monuments and absolutely start building systems. Just read this quote. Money is loud, wealth is quiet. This is it. This is the cold, authoritative reality that Machiavelli discovered all those centuries ago. The people who feel like they have something to prove, they're the ones making all the noise. But the people who actually hold the real power, they stay absolutely silent. Stop trying to prove your worth to a world that honestly doesn't even care. Send this explainer right now to that one friend you know who is constantly flexing on social media because they desperately need to hear this reality check. As for you, your directive from these 500-year-old secrets is simple. Do the work in the shadows. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, I want you to ask yourself, are you going to be the loud, hunted lion or the silent, untouchable fox?